Joe at True Warrior Ascension, and this is Maria.
Hi.
She is the media or social media marketing manager for Fresh Kitchen, a phenomenal restaurant here in Tampa and a few other locations like Orlando, St. Pete, and then one down south, right? Where's that?
We have one in Sarasota, in Boca. We're going to open Orlando November 3rd, so if you're in that area, make sure you go. It's gonna be awesome.
Great brand, healthy food, and then a great product, but we all find out about it from this one here. So typically we do food, nutrition, and exercise posts. But I wanted to bring Maria in to help some of us out. Some of us who are trying to start their own business, some of us who are trying to just showcase what we do offer, show other people value, and impact a community. And she's done that on a huge level with Fresh Kitchen. So before we get into the nitty gritty, please tell us just kind of how you got started in general.
Okay, well, the brand Fresh Kitchen has been big for a while, even before I stepped into to the role as their social manager, because it's such a good brand. So they had a good following. Their content was not as good as it should have been for a brand that's this popular. So I stepped in about 2 or 3 months ago and just kind of worked on their content, their photography. About 2 months ago or 3 months ago, and the Chichio group actually found me and brought me in because they, liked my style.
Because you're a media assassin. Let's just say it. Because she's a media assassin.
Oh, thank you.
Without a doubt. So actually that helps. So from when you started to now, what are some of the things you're seeing as far as engagement, as far as followers, like some of the notes that we have or that we measure on?
Okay, so Fresh Kitchen started in Tampa, so most of our followers are definitely in Tampa.
For sure.
So if you have a business account, as many people do and should, if you have a business, your analytics are right there and access to you. So definitely, I tend to post a lot for Tampa and build on our lower audiences. Like our Boca audience isn't as big.
Okay.
Sarasota audience isn't as big. So just pay attention to where your audience is from, and it tells you, 70% are female, 23% are male. So that's very important too. Fresh Kitchen is a very pink and bright brand, and that speaks to, I believe our female audience really loves that. So I tend to play on that a lot when I'm doing our content or creation for our content. Just pay attention to that. Fresh Kitchen is lucky to be gaining followers.
For sure.
Because it's just a great brand. I work a lot on our engagement. I comment on every single post. If you tag us, I will be commenting on that in like 24 hours because that's the work you gotta put
without doubt to
get followers.
So you comment on every single post.
Yes.
You make
if
sure.
You tag us.
Okay.
Yeah, every single post, and that's work. But you got to do that to keep gaining followers. That's why Fresh Kitchen keeps gaining followers.
Gotcha.
Right now.
So when you came in, how many followers did they have?
14,000.
14. Hold on. So you went from 14,000 2 or 3 months ago to now over 16 in just the 2 months.
Yes.
Okay, so we're probably going to learn something here. One or two things. Yeah, for sure. So you got started because they reached out to you, they plugged you up. What were you doing right before that?
So before that, nothing to do with photography. I was insurance and billing coordinator
Really?
At an office, like a doctor's office.
Okay.
But in the side, my side hustle has always been like photography, freelance. I do watercolors. So I'm a very creative person. So in my personal account, I built my brand, and people definitely noticed for my personal brand. So that Chichio definitely noticed that on my personal account and said, "Hey, we like your style. Let's."
So that's awesome. So you were picked based on what you were doing, kind of on your side hustle, because of your personal brand. It wasn't something that you were already in, but something that you loved.
Exactly.
And that's key right there.
Pretty much, it's a passion. So being my passion definitely helped me get like an actual job with a company like this.
That's pretty cool.
I know.
All right. So fast forward now, we're with Fresh Kitchen, and so what are some of the things? So you told us about, it sounds like location optimization. Now when you say that, is it just putting the tag of like the location, or how do we do that best?
Well, The stories are very big right now. So
Okay.
a lot of our viewers, and a lot of people pay for a content view. In stories, you can do that without paying for it. If you put, like, for example, I'm at Fresh Kitchen Tampa.
For sure.
And the location, I will tag it Fresh Kitchen Tampa, and that story will be on the Tampa location and the Fresh Kitchen location, and I will get views from that story without paying for them. So I can get into someone's door in that story, and they will, hopefully, if my story is attractive enough or interactive enough, they'll click on my profile and they'll go.
So I can
into
get
that.
organic reach by tagging the
Yes.
location in the story.
Yes.
And this is on IG.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's number one. She's firing already. All right, so that's key. So location in the story for IG. Okay.
Yes.
Now, with the other platforms, say like Facebook, Twitter. You guys have
Yes.
a Twitter account?
Yeah.
Does location transcend that way? Is there a way to do that?
So Facebook is a little bit different because we have locations for Tampa, St. Pete, Sarasota.
Okay.
So for Facebook, it's a little bit harder for us to reach our audience. So we have to boost a lot of things on Facebook, unfortunately.
So paid advertising there.
Yes.
So you've seen better engagement or better organic reach just with by paid advertisement on Facebook as opposed to
definitely.
IG.
Yeah, we rarely sponsor anything for IG just
Okay.
because I feel like our community is a little better and more responsive
Okay.
on IG. But Facebook is definitely, I think that Facebook has caught on to what they can do with paid advertisement. So it's a lot harder for brands to just do it organically.
But the CPM seems to be pretty good
Yeah.
on Facebook as well.
Yeah.
Are you seeing that as well?
Yeah, especially with our opening announcements for Orlando. It's been very organic. Like when we announced our grand opening date and we announced our second location in Orlando, just people are excited about it from knowing it in Tampa. So it's just an organic reaction that we had with that, which is really cool.
Okay. We talked about location. We've kind of got an idea of what's going to be great for location. What are some other things that maybe someone either starting out? So if I just started, right, and I don't have any followers, what are some things on a few of the platforms that I should definitely be doing to kind of boost without the, if I have to do paid, whatever, on each platform, what are some things besides just the location?
So definitely work on your content. Make sure, it just has to be clean. It has to speak to your brand. It has to tell a story. It has to be meaningful. If you're just posting for the fact of getting a post out there for that day, it's not going to be as impactful as if it's, something that's telling a story, something that's engaging. Also, I would say stay away from bots. Do not.
Bots.
Yeah.
So that's like the things that post for you.
Yeah, so it's very easy to think that that's going to be a successful way of getting followers.
Okay.
There's bots for commenting, there's bots for following, unfollowing.
Oh, I see that. Dreaming Elegance. You ever heard of Dreaming Elegance?
No.
Oh my goodness. Whoever you are, Dreaming Elegance, I'm going to tell you right now, stop just automatically commenting on my post because it's like, oh, you should check out our page. We really like your video. And it's a picture.
Yeah.
Like no, stop it.
It's
Stop
awkward because these people that are paying for these comments, like the content will be something entirely different to what you're commenting about. It's just awkward. It's obvious. There's a couple of businesses that do it around town, and it's just so obvious that it's a bot comment, it's a bot follow. They follow and unfollow every post that we have, and it's just it's blatantly obvious that you're using a bot. You just end up annoying people. It's the worst.
And maybe I'm misinterpreting it, but it sounds like if you want engagement from the community, we as a person trying to get engagement should also be engaging with the other people.
Absolutely. So definitely, and it's a lot of work, I can tell you that. But going to that person's picture, for example, someone that tags us in FK and has a picture of their bowl, I try to make sure that I comment something meaningful about their bowl, like, oh, that feta cheese looks great, or what a great combination, I love that buffalo chicken with the noodles, like something meaningful to what they're posting about. They'll be more compelled to check out your account and hopefully follow and engage back, because they feel, especially if you're a brand like FK, they feel you know, it's just a nice feeling to have a brand comment and acknowledge you about, you know, your visit, or even if it's a negative review or something, I try to make sure that I comment and you know, solve the situation. Just anything, just engage to that specific situation.
Gosh, oh, okay. So it almost sounds like, okay, so this is a personal story, but it almost sounds like that there was one time I was a little bit younger, and The Big Show, I saw him in a bathroom in LA.
Oh my God.
Yeah, LA airport. I was like, can you please sign my shirt? And so you're saying that comment back to them is like, hey, like, the big company is just showing a little bit of love, can take time out for a quote-unquote fan or supporter.
Absolutely.
Got you, yeah. Big Show, shout out. Like, that was, like, I still love that. I still have that t-shirt in my memory box today.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the engagement. We want to engage with our community for sure. We want to, you know, obviously get the location optimization. Are there any other big picture type things that, like, so let's talk about philosophy. Do I need to have a special philosophy in every piece should hit that philosophy, or is it like different sections of things that we talk about and I should hit, like?
So I feel like if it's different if it's for your personal account than a brand account.
Okay.
For example, for my personal account, I don't necessarily have a philosophy. I just kind of try to tell my story with, you know, pictures that I take that I like. For FK, I take into consideration what they're about. They're gluten-free, they're bright. So I take that philosophy and try to incorporate it with every post. And they care about their team members, they care about their customers. So I try to incorporate that into their brand. So it's definitely different for whatever you're working on. But as a part, I like to tell a story. That's my philosophy.
Okay, so on either platform, whether it's personal or business, we're telling some type of story.
Yeah, even if it's your fitness journey.
Okay.
It should be in that realm. I feel like it makes it a little bit more relatable. People want to follow your story. People engage with that story. They'll get used to seeing your journey. So it just helps, you know, in the overall age of the account.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it's starting a little bit. I'm starting to get it. All right. Hopefully, taking notes, so I can definitely get this down. So we talked a little bit more. We talked already about, like, obviously location and things like that. You mentioned content being, it sounds like, an even bigger variable. How can, you know, so I don't know about the studios or the Photoshops and things like that. How can I get started? Besides, I mean, obviously I'll Google it and kind of learn, but what are some ways to kind of get my foot in the door to optimize my content? And what is good content? I mean, an artist,
so
what is good content?
That's definitely subjective.
Okay.
You know, good content, you should like it, definitely. But I can tell you how I learned to make good content. I started on IG in 2011, and I joined this kind of, it's not like a group or a club, but it's Nigeria's St. Pete, Nigeria's Tampa. So it's Instagrammers Tampa, Instagrammers St. Pete. And this community of Instagram in your, you know, Tampa or St. Pete will have meetups. They'll, you know, shoot together. It's just people that are into photography and they shoot together. You can have an iPhone, you can have a camera, you can have an Android, whatever. You
guys actually meet up and...
Yeah, so that's how I learned, just shooting with other people. I also learned...
I like that. I like that.
Talking to people about their process. Like, oh, you have this camera, what does this do? Or this lens, what does that do? Definitely Skillshare.
Free group? It was a free group?
Totally free.
You guys just met up and rapped for a while?
Yeah.
IG is a Tampa, IG is a St. Pete.
Yeah.
Definitely looking into that.
Yeah, so the meetups are incredible. And Skillshare, you have to pay like $9.99 maybe a month, and 3 months are free or something when I started out.
Skillshare.
Okay. So it's like online classes for anything you want to learn. There's like photography, there's iPhoneography, there's marketing for, it's like anything you'd like to learn is on there, and it's quick courses with like people that actually do this on the real.
So like you. So you're teaching there soon, actually. She shouted it out because that $10 is going to her. I got it. No.
But it's definitely helpful. I learned a lot on Skillshare. I learned how to watercolor, calligraphy, everything that I wanted to learn. I went there and learned it.
There. Okay, so What are some things with content that you see? So obviously you've taken these courses, you're actually doing it. Actually you gotta check this out. So if you haven't seen this, these are, first of all, this is a badass idea. It is a fan because Florida is hot, but also it has some great content here, and then their menu. You said this just came out?
Yeah, we just reprinted those, yeah.
They're insane. I mean, it's just a phenomenal idea. It helps when I get to the counter to order faster.
Yeah.
And then look at these beautiful pictures. Is that in there? Look at that, the beautiful content. So you obviously have a handle on what great content looks like. What are some things that we can do or should be looking for as far as light and just minimal things? I don't want to say, obviously it's a huge domain, but what are some things that the average picture taker is just ignoring?
So I don't shoot with any artificial light.
Okay.
And sometimes maybe I should. I just feel like food and people look better in natural light.
Hashtag no filter.
Have to.
Hashtag
I definitely edit after.
Okay. But when we're shooting,
don't use any artificial light. All of my pictures that you see are natural light. And the one key, number one rule for any kind of content creation is look for the light. Like move to a window, move outside. Like without light, if you're trying to get your content in a restaurant that's dark with an iPhone light, it probably won't look great.
Really?
Your followers are gonna...
Ray, how is our light right now? We're looking good? Okay. Woo! We got one. We got one. Okay, so natural lighting and look for good lighting.
Yeah, so you don't need a bunch of studio lights. You don't need to invest in that when you're starting out. Maybe when you get closer to being, what you're doing is a little bit more professional. Maybe you can invest in that, but you absolutely don't need it.
Gotcha.
You might need it for some situations. Maybe I will in the future, but
right now natural light works.
It
natural
just
is
works,
better.
and it's Florida. Like
you can't. I mean, that is true. We have some. We are very, very lucky. So lighting. Can you give us two other things that we're missing?
Probably knowing how to compose your shot. So
I have no idea what that means, so I'm not doing that.
And that's subjective as well. There's some angles that aren't by the book and look amazing. You want to make sure that everything is balanced. If I'm doing a flat lay, I want to make sure, and a flat lay is just, like on the top, my camera's at the top and everything is, laid flat. I want to make sure that everything is balanced on the table. I want to make sure that the colors are kind of similar. I don't want to put like a black background with all of, the toppings on my bowl. That's just going to look really bad. So knowing how to compose a shot, and there's a lot of guides. And another thing, I would say follow people that inspire you and you like their style. You don't necessarily have to copy their style, but there's something to be said about being inspired and following what they're doing and just kind of replicating. There's nothing wrong with, copying someone's work as long as you say inspired by this person.
Gotcha.
This is a big inspiration.
Just show love where love is due.
Right, exactly. So
hashtag at Max Garcia. She inspired me. That's how we got here today. So we have natural lighting. We have the what is it?
The composing of a shot.
Composing of a shot. What's the last thing?
I would say my last thing is knowing how to edit on your phone.
Edit.
So
I'm a big Canva, guys. Canva okay?
I've never used it.
Okay.
But I will tell you what I use on my phone. For my personal stuff, I never put it through Lightroom.
Lightroom?
Yeah, that's usually what I use on my computer for work.
Okay.
If I'm composing or doing content for Fresh Kitchen, I will shoot it in my camera, I'll put it through Lightroom, I'll edit it very professionally. But if it's for me, most of the time what you see on my account is edited on ViscoCam.
ViscoCam.
It's edited on my phone, and by ViscoCam.
It's
VSCO.
Visco, okay, ViscoCam.
It's an app on your phone that the filters are just beautiful. If you shot it with good light, any filter that you put on that.
ViscoCam.
Yes.
Download it now, right now. Like, pause it, go to the App Store, get ViscoCam, come back.
A color story I really like.
Color story?
Yeah, it's called a color story.
A color story, okay.
And that's for very bright, airy edits.
Okay.
I also use Retouch. The Retouch app will literally you could take a whole tree out of your picture. It's amazing.
Retouch app.
Yes, it's all on your phone. Also, what I use is, oh my god, Snapseed. Snapseed is very powerful. It's probably the most powerful phone app that I have to edit.
Snapseed.
Yes, you can literally take a spot in your picture or a person in your picture and lighten it, darken it. It's a beautiful app. So if you go on my Instagram and you see all those photos, almost 80% of that is edited on my phone. Yeah.
Okay. All right. A ton of. So I mean, your phone is just all. I mean, all of them. Great. So that was VSCO. We got Retouch, Snapseed,
A Color Story,
and A Color Story. Really appreciate that. I don't have any of those. Which apparently. All right. So we've dang, like you honestly in just a few moments have really hit a ton of things. What do you think about hashtags? Are they as, so just speaking about Instagram now, and actually even Facebook because they allow them, and Twitter, on all the platforms, how do you feel about hashtags and their impact?
Okay, so on Facebook, personally, I never click on hashtags unless it's like a breaking story or breaking news.
Got you.
Even for Twitter, I use Twitter personally for just current events, pretty much. Hashtags on there. On Twitter, definitely a lot better use of hashtags on Twitter. Facebook, not so much. Instagram, there's certain hashtags that are just littered with weird content that no longer serve their purpose. So I think if you go like on the Instagram hashtag, it will just be weird content. There's so many pictures on there, and there's so many pictures that are being tagged per second that it's like not really useful to even use
because
it.
Because unless they're looking at it at that very second,
your reach is just gonna, it's not meaningful to even use that hashtag.
Okay,
but,
so maybe not like, so just for my instance in the fitness industry, maybe not use FitFam because there's so many. Use like Tampa Fit?
So that's what I try to do for my personal account and for FK.
Okay.
There's no use for me for FK reaching someone in California because we don't have a hashtag or like an FK in California.
Okay.
So I try to tend to use just local hashtags. So like a local restaurant scene, Tampa Foodies or Tampa Noms or you know, Instagram food, just like local hashtags that serve a purpose of like people usually look at those hashtags to find good food or, you know, spread good food or post about good food. I use those even for my personal. Most of my hashtags are local hashtags like I love the Berg, IG or St. Pete, or Instagram Tampa. That's what I use, mostly local.
What's a good way? All right, so let's say I'm using Tampa Eats, I'm using Tampa Foodie, I'm using all of those. What's a good way to find those? Like which ones are, I mean, are good? Because I might be using like, you know, Tampa Lunch and there's like 7 posts there. So what are some ways to find the good hashtags? Is there a way, a method?
There's some research involved. There's no easy method.
No, without doubt.
Finding it, but like definitely go to the hashtag and make sure there's meaningful content there and that people are checking it out. Also, make sure that it's a, you know, hashtag that's alive. Some hashtags have been shut down.
Really?
Like the bigger ones, yeah, because there's so much weird content in there that
did not know that. So make sure it's still alive. Like so, even after I posted for a while and it was alive, maybe
now
check them.
Right.
Okay, kind of like an inventory of all of them after a while.
I think the VSCO hashtag has been shut down
Really?
because it's so littered with trash.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's actually a great tip. Because honestly, for IG in particular, I use pretty much the same ones. I haven't really audited them in a while.
Oh yeah, you definitely need to. And also, like if you're looking for new hashtags, go to that hashtag, go to an account, see what they're using. And see if those are alive, or go to another account, see what they're using in that little genre of food photography and see if that works. So you just gotta like look.
Gotcha, yeah. So it's gonna take a little bit of work.
Yeah.
A little bit of hustle.
Yeah.
Which actually brings me to my next question, just because I've heard a few things that lead me to believe that you and I might share the affinity for a certain someone.
Oh.
Who, as far as your marketing and inspiration, who do you maybe listen to, or who do you watch for
Oh.
tricks, tips? And you might not, but the way you've said a couple things,
Oh,
there's a
man.
podcast / gentleman that I listen to that
I don't. I listen to a lot of podcasts, but they're never marketing related. Maybe
Really?
I should start.
No. So you came in, right? You came in, you loved it on your personal side. Obviously you did the classes and things like that. Was there anyone in the field of marketing or in the field of photography or content creation or sales even, because a lot of marketing is obviously we're trying to sell something, that you listen to, you watch
Oh, yeah.
on a regular basis?
So, Share a Little Sunshine
Share a Little Sunshine.
is, I mean, I've worked with Spark. They're an agency out of Tampa,
Okay.
Spark.
Spark.
And their marketing team has been very close to working with me since I started out. So they have a page called Share a Little Sunshine,
All right.
which is a community of just local photos. It's like a repost app of just the local love for Florida. And their account is the epitome of, like, the account has a voice, and the account, you can hear that voice when they're commenting on your pictures, or even when they repost, their comments are meaningful, their reactions are very meaningful too. They're like to the T what every account should be like.
Strive to be.
Yes.
As
they're-
far as content, engagement.
yeah, and they are a
message.
repost account, but even if you look at their stories,
Okay.
those are originally put together. Their events, how they respond to their audience, just they have it down. You can tell that account has like a personality of their own, and just their engagement is totally awesome. Even on Facebook, even on Twitter, like
Just
every
all around.
platform, they
People
crush
love
it.
them.
Yes, they're amazing.
Share a Little Sunshine. Is there another one? Yes or no? And I'll tell you who I was vibing off of just what you're saying and some of the key things that you've hit in here. But is there another one?
I think I have a few that I kind of take inspiration from, but
Yeah,
not like anyone other than Share a Little Sunshine.
Gotcha.
I'd like strive to be like.
So how much of, do you know who Gary Vaynerchuk
Oh
is?
yeah, absolutely.
You love his stuff.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Exactly. Okay. All right. I'm like, there's no way that she hasn't. But just based on your content is king.
Yeah.
I mean, all about hustle, and obviously you have to be. You turned a side
Right.
hustle into a great job, and then not only that, but you took it and like ran with it.
Yeah.
You've killed. So just hearing some of the things, it seemed very resonant of Gary Vee and his stuff.
Right.
Which, I mean, just tried and true great content, and I mean, the epitome of everything that she does. So last thing, and again, like, thank you for coming out and doing this. You did not have to. But as far as content creation, we know content is king. We know we need some great ways now that we can optimize. What, as far as creating for the platform, right? So this, am I gonna take, or and that, maybe not everything, but am I gonna take everything I post on IG? Is that gonna be the same as I'm gonna post on Facebook? Is it gonna be the same? Like, how much of different mediums? So a video, a picture, of just words on, say, Facebook or Twitter. How does that all play in together, and how do you, I guess, strategize for that?
Okay, so I can tell you that what I've noticed for our Instagram page and our Facebook page and our Twitter page is that video does really good on Facebook. Our events, like if we're promoting like a fit event or something, that does better on Facebook than Instagram.
Okay.
Because you can create an event. Our normal post, also you have to think about like how much time do you have to create content. So do I have enough time to create different content for Facebook and Instagram and Twitter? Like do I have that much time? How am I gonna schedule them? So it's really hard, what I found out, it's really hard to create different content, unfortunately. So, but I've noticed that video tends to do better on Facebook, our events do better on Facebook. Instagram responds to a lot of our stop motion video.
Stop motion.
Yeah, so stop motion is like really big right now. If you look
Stop motion. Check it out. Google GOOGLE. Check it out.
Yeah, and a lot of the bigger brands are doing it, and they're doing
Stop
it like
motion.
flawlessly. So that's something that we're trying to recreate with Fresh Kitchen.
What is this stop motion?
So stop motion.
Point. Should this be an embedded Facebook video, or should I post my YouTube link?
I would put the YouTube YouTube link.
Do you guys use YouTube?
No, we don't.
At all?
But if we did, I would.
Okay.
I feel like it could go both ways, actually. But if you're a big YouTuber, you might profit from putting it on YouTube and then link it back to your Facebook, just depending on how your analytics are on YouTube. But yeah, I mean, it could go both ways, I feel like.
Okay. And then on IG, that stop motion video seems to be going good.
Shorter videos.
And then just obviously any kind of great picture that relates to your message or content.
Visuals.
And then I said that was going to be the last question. This one is just because it actually came up in a podcast that I was just listening to. How do you feel about white space in content? So now I see a lot of people at the top and bottom will put like words and then content in the middle. Do you, in your experience, have you seen that to be effective and more engagement in posts with maybe a little bit more white space than content?
Well, it's different. I tend to not use any words on my posts unless I absolutely have to.
And it's food. I mean, it's
right. If we're announcing something, if it's a message like absolutely like our hurricane closures, like I put that like right there on our post, like hurricane closures, like look down on our comments. I tend to not use any words just because my brand doesn't call for it.
Got you.
And it tends to lose a lot of attention if it's a lot of words, depending on your message. I just tend to be completely visual. It just depends. Like, does your brand call for like words. You know, the words or the border? And a different thing is like what you said about white space. Like your picture could be minimal. You could have a very minimal style to your pictures without words. I don't know if that's what you meant. That's very pretty to me.
Okay.
I feel like, you know, just have like 2 or 3 colors, and on the side is your subject, and everything is negative space. That can be very pretty. If your account follows that style, it could be very visually appealing to people to just even click on your Instagram page and like see that grid of just negative style or negative space. It could be interesting. It just depends on what works for you and what you like as well.
Gotcha. Well, I have to just think, like, first of all, we've talked on IG for a little bit back and forth. I met her actually here at Fresh Kitchen Ones, and if you haven't, please, it's just Max Garcia, correct? Check out Max, M-A-X, Garcia, G-A-R-C-I-A, and I'll leave a link here for you. Her personal page is great, beautiful videos. She was just in North Carolina. Check those out for sure. Obviously, check out the Fresh Kitchen page. And I really just wanted to say thank you for taking the time out, really speaking with us, and I mean, helping so many people, whether it's a personal page, whether it's a business page, and even, like, just with me, like, there's so many things just with our short time here that I picked up, like, yo, I'm not doing that, and she is. Maybe I might want to get off my butt and try something new. Really, really appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
You're like family now. Like, come on, Ed. Come on, Ed. And she loves Ava. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, she's the cutest.
Yes.
I want to meet her.
So, in closing, is there anything that you want to suggest to someone? Like, what is maybe not your social media philosophy, or so? What is one thing in closing that you want them to know, take away, or to just hear before even getting into it, or just in closing? You could say, hey, like, just be a good person. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. What is your closing statement? What do they need to know more than anything?
I feel like the most important part, or what it was to me, is to do anything in a place of passion, and that, you know, if you're trying to create an account or trying to build a brand, it should be something that you're passionate about. And as long as you're passionate about, even if your content is not what it should be, or you're starting out, it's gonna get better if you love what you're doing. If you love your brand, if you love your passion, if it's your fitness journey, it should be something that you're just so passionate about. You want to do it on your time off. Like, it should just be driven by just love, and as long as it's driven by love and passion, it's just gonna succeed. No matter, it might take a little longer, but it's gonna be awesome as long as it's with love.
Damn, I couldn't have said any better. Just be true to yourself.
Yeah,
right. Just be true to yourself. Maria, thanks again. Hopefully we get you back. Like, I've already got some ideas on how to get you back. But again, thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Maria, I'd love to have more people like Maria come back. So please like and let her know, and just show her the love that she showed to us. And we'll see you soon, and be well. Thank you so much.